Hi, everyone, and welcome to OEM Update, where we talk about everything you need to know about this year's vehicle model lines in order to better sell them. My name is Megan Cusick, editor of Motorcycle and Powersports News, and today we're going to be talking about the 2025 Indian Scout Bobber. The Scout Bobber is a classic V-twin cruiser from Indian Motorcycle and boasts a base MSRP of $12,999. So, let's dive deeper into what exactly this bike has to offer. But for that, we're going to go straight to the OEM source.
Connect every part of your dealership with DX1's cloud-based, all-in-one solution, offering a certified DMS, lead manager, website, marketing tools, and more. All built into one smart, seamless solution. Visit dx1app.com for more information.
Joining me today to give us an overview of the 2025 Indian Scout Bobber is Ben Lindaman, Product Director for Indian Motorcycle. Ben, thank you so much for jumping on to speak with us today.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so Ben, can you start out by giving us a brief introduction to the 2025 Indian Scout Bobber? For instance, which type of customers are looking for this specific vehicle?
Yeah, I'll talk just real quick about Scout in general. So Scout's been a very successful platform for us, arguably our most successful platform. And what's interesting about Scout is it appeals to a really broad variety of riders. There's a lot of different riders that are in the what we call the mid-size cruiser segment. There's very new beginning riders. And then there's also riders that have a lot of experience and maybe they're coming back from a bigger bike. So it's a really diverse set of riders, which is, really why we have the different models in the lineup. You had asked specifically about Bobber. Bobber in particular has been our best-selling model that we've launched, since 2014. And I think the reason that Bobber has been so successful, number one, the bike looks really, really good. It's blacked out. We kind of, the trend was kind of happening at the time, and we took that and ran with it. Blacked out, bob fenders. It's kind of a no-nonsense bike, and it had a really great price point. And I think, that style, the price point, and then coupled with the performance really set Scout apart. That's really Scout's DNA is really all about, a great looking motorcycle that performs really well. And I think we just really hit that right on the head with Scout. And I think that's why it's been so successful. As far as the riders, again, you do have a pretty broad set of riders that are on Bobber. But I'd say generally speaking, it's on the younger side of our audience. So, a lot of 20s and 30 somethings that are riding Scout. The experience level, many of the riders are pretty experienced. But like I said, the bike it's got a really low seat height. It's got a low center of gravity. The maneuverability is really good. So it's also really good for beginning riders. So, pretty diverse set, but I'll say a little bit younger than maybe some of our other models.
DX1 is the only all-in-one dealership management solution for the motorcycle and powersports industry. The perfect combination of a DMS, website, and suite of marketing tools that encourages dealers to invest in their customers and not into separate software to run their dealership. All of the components of DX1 work seamlessly together to increase their staff's efficiency while allowing dealers to be with their customers rather than behind a computer screen duplicating data entry. OEM integrations, automated scheduling, and smart customer notifications combine with the real-time flow of data throughout the dealership to simplify tasks and improve day-to-day operations, all within one system and one login. This secure, cloud-based solution is accessible everywhere and has proven to be a crucial asset in the success of many powersports dealerships today. Contact DX1 now and see why others are switching to the only all-in-one powersports dealership management solution. DX1.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. Now, all right, speaking of those other models, there are 5 in the Scout lineup this year. So how does the Bobber differ from the other 4 Scout bikes?
Yeah. So bobber, like I mentioned, the positioning of bobber is really no nonsense. It's blacked out. It's bob fenders, and it is our price point leader in the lineup. So it's really our entry for our whole entire brand. When you think about specific features of the bobber, the name obviously implies the short fenders. It's got short bob fenders. It's got 16-inch wheels. They're pretty fat tires, so that kind of gives it a look as well. It's got the headlight nacelle, which gives it kind of a long, low profile. It's got forward-leaning handlebars, so you sit on it in a pretty aggressive stance, really low seat height. And then all of our bikes also have the new 1250 engine. So bobber, it has two options. Actually, you can get the 999 or the 1250. And the new engine is just really a step function change, big improvement over our past powertrain.
All right, so it sounded like you were touching on some new features there. What has been upgraded over the 2024 model year, Bob?
Yeah, so first off, I'll just hit the engine. The engine 1133 was a huge home run for us. It was kind of a game changer in the midsize market. At the time, bikes were about 60 horsepower. We came out with Scout at about 100 horsepower, and it got a lot of attention. This is really the engine and the bike as a whole. We had a good thing going with Scout. So our mantra was evolution, not revolution. So it's just taking all the things that we did on Scout and making them better. And that's really what the engine is. The engine, now is 105 horsepower on all the models except the 101. The 101 has 111 horsepower. It's got more torque, so it's 82 foot-pounds of torque now versus 72 on the old version. So, really, we kind of went system by system. We had a really unique opportunity to go system by system and ask ourselves, are we making it better? And we didn't move forward until we could answer, yeah, we're making it better. We're making it a better rider experience. So that's really what we got to do. That's the big improvement. One big improvement, I should say, is the engine. A few others, the frame. So if you recall, the past generation had a cast aluminum frame, which was good. But what we had heard over time was that, that's a little bit more intimidating to customize. So if people want to go make custom bikes, they really weren't sure how to handle that frame. And so with this generation, we actually switched and we have steel tubular frame. And that's been a really nice improvement for a few reasons. Number one, just visually, it looks much lighter. So, if you look at the two bikes in side profile, the new Scout looks lighter and is actually smaller. So I think that's been a nice improvement. Like I said, it's more customizable. But then on top of that, also, it's really more true to our brand. We've carried through kind of that S-curve frame, which is something that was unique to Indian. And with the tubular frame, we were able to bring that back. Some other items that are big improvements with this generation versus last, the electrical architecture. When we created, I was actually fortunate enough to work on the first gen Scout. When we did that work, first generation, customers really didn't want technology. We asked them, what features do you want? We gave them this big list of what we could give them, and they're like, yeah, I don't really want anything. Even ABS, they weren't sure about ABS. So the market has changed a lot in that sense. We went out with a very similar focus group prior to kicking this program off, and there were a lot of customers that checked every box. They wanted every feature, so the market has changed over time, and our electrical architecture is really in response to that. So now this new electrical architecture, what's cool about it is it can be very simple, or you can add on and it can have all the latest technology. So that's a huge upgrade with this the new platform. One other big improvement with this generation chassis is that we went to a common architecture for the rear of the bikes. And one of the main reasons we did that was in the past we had accessory offering in between the different models. The accessories didn't actually fit between all the different models. And that was one of the things we heard from both the dealers and the customers was, it would be great if all the accessories fit all of the different models. So very early on in the program, we made that a priority. And what's great about that is now you can mix and match. So it helps us with model creation. You can see, the 5 models we have. It's very easy to have a lot of different variety. And then on top of that, it's really easy for dealers to stock the accessories because they fit all the different models. And when a customer walks into a dealership, the accessory is going to be there. Whereas in the past, they probably wouldn't have it for your particular model. Now they're going to have it because it fits all the models.
All right, that is fantastic to hear. And actually, I do want to ask about accessories. What have been some of the most popular ones in the past for the Scout Bobber models?
Yeah, for Scout Bobber, well, you get some of the standard issue items, like windshield is very popular, even though it's a bobber. We still sell a lot of windshields. People want wind protection. We sell quite a few seats. People have different preferences on seats. You can't really make one for that works for everyone. So seats are a top seller. Luggage, so saddlebags. That's also a new thing. Just to point out, for model year 25, our saddlebags. We now have saddlebags for both sides, where we didn't have that in the past. So that's a big improvement. Saddlebags, 2-up seating for some people is a big accessory. Handlebars, of course, is a big item. The items, I guess, if I had to put them in a bucket that really stand out are the accessories that help the person fit the bike to them. So handlebars, seats, foot pegs, those items are probably the top sellers for Scout.
All right, excellent. And so now I want to jump back to something you were talking about earlier. You said that you've changed the chassis this year to steel tubing, and
Yep.
thinking about again, so maybe some of the perhaps service issues that have come up in past models of bobbers. Maybe things technicians have had to deal with. Have any service issues been addressed in the 2025 model?
Yeah, so one of the things from a service standpoint, one big thing was actually if you needed to remove valve covers for any reason, you basically had to take the frame apart in the past. And now that's not the case. Now, the way that we design the valve covers, for example, they will slide out the side of the chassis. So if you have to service or if you want to change cams or do any custom work like that, it's pretty easy to do that now. Some smaller service items like we added an oil window so that you can so it's really easy to check your oil now. Those are a couple of the bigger things that we did to improve service.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that you guys have gone so far to help with customization for this bike, or just making it easier to work on the bike in general. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, Ben, and thank you so much for taking the time today to talk with us about the 2025 Indian Scout Bobber.
Great. Thank you for having me.
For more information about the bike or to become an Indian dealer, head to indianmotorcycle.com. And as always, stay tuned to MPN for more of the latest and greatest in motorcycle and powersports news.